At 20 years old, I was chasing success the wrong way. In this video, I'm going to show you and teach you the 3 mistakes that I wish someone told me in my journey. And what if everything we've been told about making money is a lie? Hey guys, Michael here. If you don't know who I am, I've built a 7-figure passive income business in payment processing, starting from scratch and mastering what works along the way. With 15 years of experience, I'm here to help you create your own path to financial freedom, faster and smarter. So when I was 20 years old, I thought working hard was the way to, build wealth and success. I failed at so many businesses. I mean, I remember, in my check cashing days, that was not a failure. That was a success because the systems were there. Everything was proven. But I always looked at things kind of like, okay, I just want to make money. But there was nothing in between. There was not a problem I was solving. There was nothing that I really wanted to work on for me to be able to solve a big problem in order for me to make money. But when that happened, in terms of I saw that people are making money, I wanted to and make money as well. So one perfect example, there was next to the check cashing, there was a clothing store, and that clothing store was borderline kind of, making money, but it was weird how it was back in the day. It was in the books, the taxes were a little off or whatever it is. And I built a semi relationship with the owner of that clothing store. And it was obviously I saw customers come in, he was, he sold them things and he kind of told me how much he was making. But the reality here is one day, I found out that he is selling the business. And he approached me and he said, would you be interested in selling? It makes sense. In my eyes, I was thinking, okay, my check cashing is right next door. It would be easy. People cash checks. I would just send them there. They would shop for clothes based on what they want. It was a no-brainer, right? Because now I am kind of the supplier and the processor, I guess, if you will. And when I say by processor, I'm talking about the person cashing the checks. I have access to people with money and I can recommend them, hey, go here and buy the item. So I purchased the business. In my mind, I just want to make money. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be a no-brainer. Purchased the business, and within, I kid you not, within a few months, and mind you, I had to pay money to buy the business. And on top of that, I had to pay rent. There was a lot of expenses. And it was just, I got set up to almost fail. I set it up to failure and I shut it down within months of opening it. And that really taught me a very, very good lesson, because there's an old saying, shooting from the hip. And that's what I did. I shot from the hip, not understanding. I've never been in the clothing industry. I'm not someone that has, even you have to be a buyer. You have to understand what you're buying, what you're getting yourself into. But anyways, I did take a chance. I did take a risk, which was the positive, but I learned so much from it. I don't regret doing it, but that was kind of like a wake up moment for me. And, it was frustrating. It was very confusing because it's an industry I'm not familiar with. And that kind of painted the picture. And until this day, I remember that day because it's a failure. And this is one of many of businesses that I have failed in. But the reality here is I had to go into it in order for me to learn that lesson early on. And had I not gone into it, I would have probably, taken another different type of business or different type of approach for me to kind of get burnt. I was able to do is kind of not give up and continue with my journey, because I still had the check cashing. It sucks. It drained the crap out of me that I lost that business. But what are you going to do? I put in time, energy, money, inventory, all of that stuff, and I lost it. I guess I didn't know the business. I think that's where the mistake was. I didn't understand the business very well. I didn't know it was a market fit. I just assumed that based on XYZ, it's going to happen. It's going to work. So I'm going to go into the reality of the truth number 1. So here, mistake 1 that I wish, again, that someone told me early on in my entrepreneurial journey. And the number one thing is, I'll always kind of talk about this because it really, really bothers me. And it's today's educational system. It's so old. It's absolutely horrible. I wasted so many years in school, you know, even college to finish and all of that stuff. And I don't want to say I didn't get anything out of it, because something came out of it, obviously, whether that's, you know, how to speak or some words or whatever. But I'll say this. I don't think I got anything out of that is helping me in business today, because going to school isn't really gonna help you scale your financial literacy. And because they don't teach that in school. This is the system. It's broken. It's very old. It's from the industrial era. It's not today's era. And they've done that by design, because they want you to go through that rat race like everybody else does. Anyways, despite my degree, I was clueless about managing money, to be honest with you. I've interviewed so many marketers, people that graduated with a marketing degree. And I'm sorry to say this, but those people, with all due respect, are not good in marketing. They are not good. You know why? Because they don't have the experience. The only way to be good at something, you actually have to experience it, not just read about it. That is the biggest problem I have with the educational system, is because read, and they all teach you that you have to have a good score, you have to have success in order for you to succeed in life. And that's a bunch of, in my opinion, because you have to understand not just the knowledge of it. That's great. Maybe you'll build some relationships out of the knowledge you have or whatever, but you're not going to be able to put that to the test. You should apply that knowledge. But in school, what knowledge are they really giving you for you to apply? It's not much. I mean, what are you going to apply? Algebra or what you read in chemistry or biology? School is meant for if you want to become a doctor, if you want to become a lawyer, something that requires an actual degree. If it does not require an actual degree, then you'll get a way better experience and skill set actually going into a job and working. It could be something where, you know, you graduate, whether it's high school or even go to college. But in the meantime, if you really do believe in the school system, which I truly do not, because it's not going to do shit for you, but you can actually, while you're going to college or going to high school, go learn a skill set. You have to have the drive at the same time, but learn a skill set. Learn whatever that skill that interests you, that you love doing, because that's going to give you that experience that you need in order for you to fulfill that one thing that you really like. If you're going to be good at one thing, go and master it. That's how you win in today's world. But a huge mistake for me, I never picked up and read a book until the age of 38, damn it. And that was just like unbelievable. And when I read a book for the first time, my wife is a very big book reader. My kids read books all the time. And I didn't pick up a book. I'm 41 right now. Moving on to 2. And then 2 is your network truly defines your net worth, because the more hands you shake, the more money you make. And if you surround yourself with ambitious, like-minded individuals, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, joining communities and going to network events, that I really didn't do that. I just had friends. I was young and stupid. And, you know, not that friends are bad, but what I'm saying is I was chasing the wrong thing, and that didn't make me wealthy or money or anything. You gotta surround yourself with people that can make you a better person. If you sit in a room and you're the smartest person in that room, then my friend, you are in the wrong room. And that is so important for you to understand, because surround yourself, because you're going to pick up their by habits and understand, and you're going to get so much knowledge. But again, you got to apply that knowledge. But networking is so important, because you don't know the next hand you shake, the next person you meet, the next person you talk to, how they're going to change your life. Because if you think about it, in any situation you're in today in your life, you're in there because of someone, of something, right? If someone, actually, I should say, not even something. It's because of someone that said something about the job you're in right now, recommendation, or whatever the scenario is. It really led from somewhere or someone you met. So your network is truly your net worth, because the more people you're connected to, they can mentor you, they can work with you, they can help you because they are going to be within your network. If you surround yourself with 100 cheese experts, guess what you're gonna become? You're gonna become a cheese expert. That's the reality. That is the reality. And get rid of the negative. Get rid of the negative people. You don't need them in your life because you want to be positive. You always have to have that positive mindset, growth mindset, because if you have negativity, that's only going to drain you and it's gonna hinder you from growing. So don't make that mistake. Go through people, make sure when you meet with somebody, when you're there and you're talking to a friend or a colleague or a business person or whatever, if that person complains all the time, you don't need them in your life because you want someone positive. You want someone that is always bringing positive because we're creatures of believing and manifesting things in our minds. So if it's constantly negative going in your head, negative is gonna come out, okay? Always keep that in mind. The third one is you need to take risks, because if you don't take risks, you're not going to get rewarded, period. So because you're not taking any risk. If you play it safe all the time, it's gonna keep you average. It's gonna keep you where you are. You gotta get out of your comfort zone and you have to risk it, whether that is getting in a new venture. For example, for me, I left my check cashing completely. I took a risk into the payment processing space because I believed in myself. The more I'm sacrificing, in this case, I sacrificed my job. I had a job. I was in the check cashing making really good money, but I said, I know I could do bigger and better. So I said, I need to sacrifice. I need to be able to leave this, sacrifice that and get into something new and believing in myself that I can do it. Obviously, don't do it in a stupid way. Sometimes, you want to approach it in a very good thought and a manner, but you need to take that step. You need to take, action in terms of risks, because evaluated risk, I should say. Because if you don't start a business, if you don't start a new career, if you don't invest in a venture, if you think everything is going to be calculated and perfect, you're going to be a cynical. And you don't want to be a cynical. Somebody that gives a billion excuses to why they shouldn't do something. And because the reason I say that is because the more you tell yourself that it's not a good idea to get it, the more time is passing, and then later you're gonna regret it. When you get older, you don't wanna sit and have a life filled with regrets. Because if you do, you're old. You're gonna be like, what the heck? What was I thinking? You're young now, or whatever in your stage you are, whether you're 50, 60. Age is just a number, in my opinion, because you can do so much with your life. Don't just throw it away by working for others and making them rich. Make something for yourself. Do something. Pull a trigger on something that you can take a risk on. Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So for you to understand that. So that is the reality of it, okay? And the turning point for me is when I was able to apply all those things into my life. And I decided to implement them. I decided to, face them and how to overcome them, right? It's not just thinking about them or doing them, whatever. You have to actually overcome them as you are growing as a person. So I just want to say, you got to take action. You got to do these things and follow those things. I so badly wish somebody was able to, tell me the importance of it, because I would have been so farther away in my life. I mean, imagine if I was 20 and somebody taught me the importance of those things, then I would be further ahead. That is truly the reality of it. So I want you to really think about, which of these mistakes that I've made are you neglecting? Which one of these do you see you're having a problem with? And go into them and apply them. Apply them into your life, and you will see a tremendous difference in your career, your life, everything. Okay? That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you have questions or thoughts, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're interested in building real passive income through payment processing, check out the free community I've created. The link is in the description, and it's full of resources and tools to get you started today. Hope to see you on the inside.